15 mind-blowing facts about Hong Kong. Hong Kong packs a punch as the most crowded spot on Earth. Sitting at the doorstep of Southeast China, it's not just a city, it's a buzzing, jam-packed urban powerhouse. Spanning just 425 square miles, smaller than Los Angeles, it squeezes in over 7.4 million folks, landing it among the planet's most populated zones. Zoom into Kowloon, and the density skyrockets to over 20 times New York's, earning Hong Kong its concrete jungle badge. The weather? Think steamy subtropical vibes. Summers are sticky and hot, with typhoons crashing in yearly. But here's the twist. Despite its skyscraper fame, 40% of Hong Kong is carved out for nature parks, boasting lush forests and beaches smack in the city's heart. Officially dubbed the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of China, it was under British rule until 1997 and still rocks its own laws, cash, and government. Though 92% of its people are Han Chinese and it's tied to China, Cantonese rules the streets, yet you'll catch English buzzing among the global crowd, blending cultures like nowhere else. This place isn't just Asia's money hub, it's a millionaire magnet with over 500,000 of them, meaning 1 in 14 residents is sitting on $1 million, the highest millionaire density worldwide. Tiny compared to LA, Hong Kong still outshines London and Tokyo with more billionaires and some of the richest names on the globe. Wealth struts down every block. Rolls-Royces roll thick, posh shopping hubs like the Landmark, IFC Mall, and Harbor City overflow with designer labels, and swanky spots like the China Club lock doors to anyone but the elite. Sky-high pads at the peak fetch tens of millions, with waiting lists stretching long. What's the secret sauce? Taxes or the lack of them? While the US and others slap 10-25% VAT on everything, Hong Kong skips it entirely. Income tax tops out at a measly 15%, a far cry from the US's 37% or Europe's 45%. No inheritance tax, no property tax, no capital gains tax. It's a setup that lets the rich keep their stacks, unlike the hefty cuts in Western spots, making Hong Kong a full-on wealth factory. Hong Kong flexes hard with over 8,000 skyscrapers, outmuscling even New York to claim the crown for the most high-rises on the planet. But peel back the glitzy glow, and you'll find a gritty reality, tiny, claustrophobic apartments that choke out comfort. Soaring real estate costs have shoved thousands of low-wage earners into coffin apartments, cramped boxes as small as 2 to 3 square meters. Picture squeezing into a space tinier than a bathtub, barely enough to flop down, let alone stretch out. Inside, a bunk bed, a dinky fan, and a jumble of belongings stacked tight. Windows, light, privacy? Forget it. You're sharing a bathroom with dozens in a rundown building. Numbers don't lie. Over 200,000 folks here are crammed into these shoebox homes. A 40-square-foot unit might get chopped into 20 cubbies, each a measly 1.5 square meters, smaller than a bike parking spot. Yet, rent still stings at $200 to $300 a month, on par with a decked-out place in other countries. In these tight quarters, everyday stuff like eating turns into a juggling act. Food gets stashed under the bed since private kitchens aren't a thing. Freedom, barely a whisper. The government's tried sprucing things up with sleek micro-apartments, but for many, it's just a fancier cage, still puny, still pricey. Hong Kong's skyline might scream success, but down below, it's a squeeze for survival. Women in Hong Kong don't just turn heads, they own the room with a mix of strength, class, and fierce independence. Unlike their mainland counterparts, they rock a look that fuses East and West, pale skin, slim builds, a graceful vibe, and piercing gazes. But it's not just about looks, it's their vibe and hustle that steal the show. Picture this, they're sipping a bold Hong Kong milk tea, sealing $1 million deal over the phone, then strutting into a finance meeting to dominate a table full of suits. In a city where life races faster than the MSTR subway, they don't just hang on, they set the pace. But they're not all business. Come Saturday morning, they're conquering the Dragon's Back Trail. By afternoon, they're slipping into sleek Shongsams, savoring dim sum at a timeless yum-che spot with effortless style. When night hits, you'll spot them in Lan Kwai Fong's ritzy bars, cocktails in hand, polished yet radiating authority. They might hail from old-school families where dinner's still sacred, or they could be solo queens thriving in plush studio apartments, carving out life on their terms. They juggle modern flair with deep-rooted traditions like it's nothing. Hong Kong women? They're a wild card, sharp enough to surprise you, classy enough to hook you, and before you know it, you're caught up in their orbit. Fair warning, they don't settle for just anyone. Their partner game is next level. If you want to connect and make friends with Hong Kong girls through social media or dating apps and would like us to share tips on how to befriend Hong Kong girls, please leave a comment with the number 8. We will provide you with the answers. Hong Kong buzzes around the clock, a city where towering skyscrapers huddle tight and neon signs bounce off slick streets after a quick rain. It's a whirlwind of energy, yet somehow chill in its own way. Perch on a footbridge in Central during rush hour, and you'll witness a flood of folks charging ahead. Everyone's got a mission, a snapshot of Hong Kong's vibe, full speed, no brakes. Slip into a narrow side street, though, and you'll stumble on old-school tea joints, seniors kicking back with bold milk tea, flipping through papers, and chewing over the day's news. Mornings kick off with the holler of dim sum hawkers, the steamy scent of Hong Kong milk tea, and the lazy clatter of those retro ding-ding trams rolling through packed roads. The culture here mashes up east and west like nowhere else. Hit the Temple Street night market, and it's a symphony of haggling, the smoky smell of roasted duck hanging heavy, while a short stroll away, you've got Euro-style pubs pumping with life. Locals? They're all about getting stuff done, work hard, play smart. They'll queue up for hours for a killer egg tart or trek the peak to catch a jaw-dropping sunset over Victoria Harbor. Sure, it's one of the priciest spots on the globe, but Hong Kong hides quiet pockets, ancient temples tucked between the chaos, offering a breather from the non-stop grind. It's a tough place to call home, no doubt, but once it hooks you, good luck walking away. Picture this. From the 1950s to 1994, roughly 50,000 people crammed into a wild maze of 300 buildings called Kowloon-walled city, wedged between China and Hong Kong. This place was a lawless free-for-all. No cops, no rules, just a jumble of high-rises packed so tight sunlight barely trickled into the skinny alleys. Those pathways? So narrow you'd have to sidle through one at a time. Tucked in northern Hong Kong, this ungoverned hotspot started as a military base before morphing into a sprawling housing block of 300 linked towers. Post-World War, a flood of Chinese immigrants hit Hong Kong, sparking a housing crunch. Savvy builders in Kowloon stepped up, stacking high-rises to cram folks in. At its height, 50,000 souls squeezed into just 2.6 hectares, about the size of a football field, making its density 20 times crazier than New York's. That crowned Kowloon one of the most jam-packed spots on the planet. No government in sight, yet life buzzed on, shops popped up, clinics patched folks up, schools taught kids, and a scrappy economy thrived with its own unwritten codes. Then, in 1993 and 1994, Hong Kong and China teamed up to clear the chaos, moving people out and tearing down the suffocating towers. In their place rose Kowloon-walled City Park, styled like a classic Chinese garden, a peaceful gem that flips the script on the wild, overcrowded paths. Stroll there now, and you'll soak in calm vibes that whisper history with every step. In Hong Kong, Feng Shui isn't just some old superstition, it's baked into daily life. From towering skyscrapers to cozy apartments, from big-shot banks to quirky bubble tea joints, everything's set up to pull in good luck. Heavy hitters like HSBC and the Bank of China drop millions to shape their H-keys around Feng Shui, keeping the cash flowing smooth. Even McDonald's tweaks its layouts here to lure in crowds. Buying a place, picking a phone number, nabbing a license plate, or just shifting the bed? Locals run it by Feng Shui rules. 8's the golden number for wealth, but 4's a no-go. Sounds too much like death in Cantonese. That's why tons of buildings ditch the 4th, 14th, or 24th floors altogether. In the office, desk placement's a big deal. CEOs even call in feng shui pros before sealing major moves. Take billionaire Li Ka-shing. He's shelled out millions to shuffle his offices for that perfect energy boost. Ready to dive into Hong Kong's top spots? Victoria Peak's the crown jewel, the city's highest perch, serving up killer views of gleaming towers, the glowing Victoria Harbor, and green hills rolling out wide. The wildest way up is the Peak Tram, a vintage, near-vertical ride that'll have you feeling like you're floating over the skyline. Then there's Disneyland Hong Kong. No need to jet off to the US or France for that Disney spark. Smaller than its American cousin, it mixes Western flair with Asian twists, packing in Marvel and Star Wars zones, epic nightly fireworks, and a one-of-a-kind eatery dishing up Mickey-shaped dim sum. Nowhere else in the Disney world does that. If Hollywood's got its Walk of Fame, Hong Kong counters with the Avenue of Stars, tipping its hat to icons like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Chow Yun-fat. The Bruce Lee statue's the star. Tourists flock there, striking kung fu poses by the millions yearly. Come night, it's prime real estate for catching the Symphony of Lights, a dazzling laser show lighting up the harbor's skyscrapers. And who'd guess a stunning man-made beach sits smack in the middle of this urban jungle? Repulse Bay hooks you with powdery white sand, crystal-clear waves, and ritzy beachside cafes, all a quick hop from the money-making district. It's a hotspot for the city's youth, where you can splash around with a backdrop of looming high-rises. Hong Kong's a modern powerhouse, no doubt, but it's also a treasure chest of thrills waiting to be cracked open. Hong Kong is a shopper's dream, packed with some of the planet's most stunning malls and offering everything from high-end designer labels to cutting-edge gadgets and one-of-a-kind antiques. What makes it even better? No import taxes or pesky VAT, so prices here easily beat out spots like New York or London. Fashion lovers swarm the Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Rolex boutiques in Central and Tsim Sha Tsui, snapping up luxury bags and watches at rates that feel like a steal compared to other cities. Prefer a good haggle? Hit up the Ladies' Market in Mong Kok or Temple Street Night Market, where you can score stylish threads, cool souvenirs, and funky tech for next to nothing. This city's shops don't sleep either, staying open late, especially during big events like Black Friday or Lunar New Year, when brands roll out jaw-dropping discounts that transform Hong Kong into a shopping paradise. And if you think the night markets are wild, swing by the duty-free stores at Hong Kong's airport, where travelers happily line up for ages just to grab a Hermes bag before jetting off. Over in the US, coffee might rule the roost, but in Hong Kong, milk tea steals the show, woven right into the city's heartbeat. Forget the sugary, creamy stuff from Taiwan. Hong Kong's version is intense, gutsy, with a hint of bitterness that hooks you instantly, perfectly matching the city's non-stop vibe. Its secret? The brew gets strained through a fine cloth that looks like silk stockings, leaving it silky smooth and earning it the nickname silk stocking milk tea. They mix 4 to 6 kinds of black tea, simmer it all day, then blend it with carnation condensed milk for a rich, bold flavor you won't find anywhere else. Locals are obsessed, even holding a nationwide contest to crown the top tea master. Millions of cups get downed every day. Whether you're at a no-frills, cho-cho-an-teng, or a fancy restaurant, milk tea's on the menu, morning, noon, or midnight after a late night out. Want a real taste of Hong Kong? Go for the Yuan Young, a killer combo of milk tea and coffee that packs the city's fiercest caffeine punch. Hong Kong isn't just a buzzing urban jungle. It's also one of the priciest places on Earth, where the cost of living can make even folks from New York or San Francisco blink twice. Rent tops the list as the biggest wallet drainer. A one-bedroom spot in prime areas like Central or Wan Chai runs between $3,000 and $5,000 a month, while a cozier pad farther out, say in Tuen Wan or Tsun Mun, still hits you for $1,500 to $2,000 monthly. Bills for basics like electricity and water? Expect $100 to $200 each month. Need fast internet for work? Tack on another $50 to $80. Eating out comes with a bite too. A quick meal at a laid-back spot costs $10 to $15. But if you're craving something upscale in the city center, you're looking at $50 to $100 per person. Cooking at home might sound like a money saver, but imported groceries here don't come cheap. A liter of milk can set you back $4 to $5. A loaf of bread goes for $3 to $6, and decent beef? That's $20 to $30 per pound. Getting around town with an octopus card for the MTR buses and ferries averages $80 to $130 monthly. Want to hit the gym? Memberships range from $100 to $150, though fancy fitness clubs can charge up to $300. Even a basic dental checkup runs $100 to $200. All in, monthly expenses for one person in Hong Kong can swing between $3,500 and $7,000, depending on how you live, outpacing even New York and London. Looking for a city that's safe and boasts top-notch healthcare? Hong Kong checks both boxes with ease. It's got one of the lowest crime rates anywhere, so strolling through Mong Kok's tight alleyways at 2 a.m. feels perfectly fine. The place is wired with over 50,000 security cameras citywide, keeping things locked down tight. Need help fast? Dial 999, Hong Kong's version of 911, and cops can show up in under 5 minutes thanks to lightning-quick emergency services. On the healthcare front, this city's system rivals the best in the US and Europe, but costs way less. A trip to a public hospital? Just $7. A night stay? Only $13. So wallet-friendly, it's almost unreal. Don't let the low price fool you, though. These facilities pack cutting-edge tech, and the doctors come from world-class schools. That's why Hong Kongers live longer than anyone else, with an average life expectancy topping 85 years. Prefer private care? A visit to a private doctor ranges from $100 to $300, but with insurance, you get treatment on par with the US or UK without breaking the bank. With this kind of budget, would you consider living in Hong Kong? If yes, type 1. If no, type 0 in the comments. Hong Kong might not have a single gold mine, but it's still a heavyweight in the global gold and jewelry game. How? No taxes, a prime spot on the map, and a jewelry-making scene that's tough to beat. Sitting smack between East and West, this city pulls in gold from big players like Switzerland, South Africa, and China, free of import fees or VAT. That setup turns Hong Kong into a gold trader's dream, luring investors and top brands to buy low and sell high. Once refined and shaped, that gold zips off to huge markets like China, the US, and Europe in no time. But it's not just about trading. Hong Kong's jewelry skills are next level. Local giants like Chow Tai Fook and Luke Fook hold their own against Asia's best, while giving luxury icons like Cartier and Tiffany a run for their money. Fun fact, a diamond ring fetching over $10 million rolled out of a shop here, outshining plenty of Europe's fanciest labels. Work in Hong Kong? It's intense, no question. The average employee clocks 44 to 50 hours a week, topping the US, UK, and Japan. In fields like finance, banking, or law, that jumps to a grueling 60 to 80 hours. Some offices don't even pause for big holidays. With no laws capping work hours, late nights and weekend shifts are just part of the deal. Life moves fast here, competition's brutal, and lunch breaks. Most folks scarf it down in 10 to 15 minutes. Still, the payoff's real, fat paychecks, tons of room to climb the ladder, and Hong Kong's rep as a worldwide money hub keep ambitious go-getters flocking to test their limit. Hong Kong buzzes with energy year-round, but when festival season hits, it's like the city cranks the volume to 11. Lunar New Year steals the show as the grandest celebration, draping the streets in vibrant red for good luck, with fireworks bursting over Victoria Harbor and lion dance crews, bringing the noise and motion. Families swap red envelopes stuffed with cash, though there's a catch. Only married folks hand them out, while singles get to collect. Then there's the Dragon Boat Festival, a 2,000-year-old spectacle that hooks millions. Picture hundreds of rowers powering through the water, shouting in sync with thumping drums, delivering a mix of grit and grace that's hard to look away from. Beyond the festivities, Hong Kong's food scene is a feast for the senses, every bite loaded with history. Dim sum is the city's heartbeat, served in hot bamboo baskets, brimming with ergao, siu mai, and char siu bio, all washed down with tea in the lively yum cho tradition. Craving something meatier? Roast goose hooks you with its crackly skin, juicy flesh, and a bold taste tied to a hush-hush marinade recipe. For a quick win, wonton noodles shine with springy golden strands, plump shrimp dumplings, and a light broth brewed from pork bones and dried shrimp. Want the real street vibe? Grab some curry beef balls, a local legend featuring tender beef spheres drenched in a tangy, mildly spicy curry sauce, often paired with fish balls and cakes at roadside stands. If you want to know more, leave a comment with the number 6 factorial.